Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to The Drop. I am joined with my bud and co-host,
Jordan Mitchello.
What's up, pal?
How you doing, man?
Whew, I'm good. I'm all right. It's been a rough couple days. I actually just found out that I lost a homie from Reno. My buddy Nico Nakamura. He rode for Eternal with me. He rode for Stinky Socks with me. Rode Saber Goggles. Anyways, I know it's been tough and pretty rough out there in Reno right now. So I'm thinking of all you guys that are back there, and obviously his friends and family. It's been pretty heavy. But on a better note, I'm here now.
Loss, man.
All good. It's weird, man. It happens. It's strange because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm very calloused to it nowadays. It just seems like it happens so often.
It's happening a lot. It really sucks.
Not even in regards to like how it happens, but just I feel like friends are just always like dropping like flies. It's tough. Anyway, with that being said, we are here. We are in the basement. We are ready to shoot episode 8, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Just chugging along.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Anyway, guys, today's episode is all about snowboard shops. We're just going to kind of be talking about the importance of them, why they're so important. I mean, I guess that's the importance of them. But what else do you think? Like general topics of snowboard shops.
I think they're the backbone of a lot of the snowboard stuff that happens these days.
Yeah.
They kind of bring up a lot of people. They support snowboarding in so many ways.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll be elaborating on that a bit.
Yeah. So I figured one way that we could kind of start off is like, obviously the main reason a snowboard shop exists is to sell snowboards and gear, right?
Yeah.
It's so important that those places exist because you can go to a store that maybe just sells snowboards, like a big like sporting goods store, and they will have snowboards for sale. But you're not going to find a guy that is super into snowboarding who knows all about every board that they have in the shop and what's good or bad about it, right? Like you worked in a shop.
For sure. Yeah. I worked at CalSurf a couple of times.
Right?
Love that shop. I mean, yeah, but you can go in there and get your board tuned up. You know people that like ride for those brands, maybe that work there, or you're getting information from the owner, Scott, who like snowboards, like knows his shit, cares about it, lives it, reads it, does it, So you get that over going to like maybe like a Dick's Sporting Goods or something, which I mean, I've had to buy like a kid's helmet there. Like I've gone in there for certain things that you might need, but yeah, it's just you're not going to get that whole support that you would outside of that. And then also with like sponsoring riders and helping kind of connect some of these riders to brands. And I don't know. It's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I think it's undervalued these days.
For sure. I mean, I think, especially with the emergence of internet sales and all of that stuff, I feel like so many snowboard shops are kind of used as like the place that they're, oh yeah, come on in and try on the boots. Don't buy them from us. But
Can I call you out?
I mean, I think I have a little bit different of a situation because I'm probably just going to be ordering boots. I'm not like going to be buying them, period. And it's just like a different brand that I've ever tried. But if I'm like,
I just want to give you shit. That's all.
I know. It's pretty easy. For those that were curious, I was trying to order some boots from a company, but I wasn't sure what size because I've never really ridden their boots before. So I was going to go into a shop and try on what size I actually wear in that. But
then I had to give you shit just because I worked at the shop, so I know you'd have that dude come in and you're like, oh, man, you know, different, obviously, because you're just like, well, this guy's going to go to Dick's Sporting Goods or Amazon now, I guess, and just grab his gear that way.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. I don't know. I guess it kind of is the same thing. I don't know. It's weird.
That's how you look at it.
I guess so. Which filter, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, for me, when I first moved to Reno, my first sponsor there was Eternal. It was my first like shop sponsor. I was elated. That was like a really big brand back then, so I was pretty psyched. But yeah, they definitely guide you into different companies. They are the ones that can connect you with different reps. So, you start with a shop sponsor. Next thing you know, they're recommending you to the, for argument's sake, Nitro, local rep.
Was that your first?
No. My first board sponsor was Smokin' Snowboards, actually. And then through some other contests, I ended up meeting like the DC guys, the DC reps. Just kind of went from there. But riding for Eternal was like a huge. Riding for Eternal was great because I could be kind of a liaison between brands. Like later on with Eternal, I was like the middleman between like Tech 9 and Eternal, which has its ups and its downs. But shops are cool, and not to mention like the biggest thing, which is just like the scene of the shop, all the homies that work there, all your friends that are going in and out to get their boards tuned or whatever the case may be, buy something new.
That's a huge thing here in Minnesota. Like people would come ride street spots and go into Cal Surf, get the bass grind, get the wax, say what up to Scott, and bringing that community to it is pretty substantial.
Did CalSurf have like a TV in there where they were just like always playing vids and stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Scotty would give a shit for watching a little too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, always had to put in the new vids.
Yeah.
Videos.
I mean, I get it. Did CalSurf rent snowboard videos?
No, but that's a freaking good idea.
Yeah, I went to a shop in Jackson Hole. I don't remember the name of the shop anymore, but it was dope because you could go in there and rent like any of the new videos, which was kind of sick.
Dang.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, snowboard shops are definitely the backbone of snowboarding. Also, like you said kind of already, if somebody wants to go in and get a board, they're going to be able to get something that's really personalized to them. Because the person working at the shop is going to be able to guide them in the right direction, as opposed to like, oh, you need this board. And it's like,
well, I'm sure working at I worked at a Savers at one point, and I remember me and this buddy would work up front, and we're like, dude, what fucked up book can we try to get people to buy? It was just kind of a challenge. We'd put something silly up at the front desk. And I kind of feel like if you work at like one of those big box stores, it could be like, yo, dude, you have a manager that's like, we're going to sell, 8 pairs of Burton bindings today. Like, that's your goal for the day.
That's
and you're
the
like,
goal,
oh, shit,
yeah.
okay. Like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. But it's like, if you're going into a shop, you're kind of getting the like, yo, all right, dude, like, Never Summer boards are pretty sick. Do you want that, or you want to go Lib Tech, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to kind of like actually try to figure out what they're doing and what they're looking into.
I feel that like a big box store, if a person comes in with their mind set on something, they're instantaneously to be like, okay, that's what you want. Let's get you out the door. Even though they know that that's probably not what that person actually is looking for. It's like, say somebody wants to like, or only has like terrain park, little like boxes, rails, things that they're mounting, something like that, right? And then some dude goes in and he's like, oh, but I really just want like a golden Orca T-Rice or whatever. We kind of always use that board, but it's just like such a generic board lately. Obviously that board would not be ideal for somebody going in to just ride terrain park stuff, right?
Yeah,
but if their mind's already set on that board, at like a big box store, they'd be like, oh yeah, perfect. That's what you want. Let's get you out the door with that,
Oh yeah.
Versus a shop will probably be like, well, what kind of snowboarding are you trying to do?
I'm not going to name the big box store, but that exact thing happened to me when I was a kid and just starting to get out. Like I told my mom, she was like, Christmas birthday gift, I'm going to get you a snowboard. Okay, what do I want, right? And I was like, all right, well, at the time, 142, twin tip, full wrap metal edges. So remember, I really liked Lib Tech Canoe.
Yeah.
But I really wanted the full wrap edging, right? And she called the shop. They told her it was a twin tip, yada, yada, yada. And I wish I still had the board. It was the Wheatgrass Jamie Lynn. It was sick, but definitely directional.
I just had one
wide
of those.
tail.
Yep.
Skinnier nose, and it de-lammed right away because like I was riding rails. You know? It literally lasted me like 2 days, and it was a bummer. And she returned it, worked out, everything came out in the end. I ended up getting like I think a Burton twin, but yeah, it was like a bummer because they just were like dollar signs, $500, Let's get this board out the door. I don't give a shit. Like,
totally.
Because I don't have to see this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And you're not going to get that, hopefully, from a shop.
What do you think about Zoomies? Like, they're like I mean, first of all, would you consider them a shop?
Ugh, that's so controversial.
So I have one main thing about it, which is kind of like pro Zoomies. I'm not against Zoomies. I'm not for Zoomies, whatever. But there are a lot of places in this country that don't have like a CalSurf or a Zombie, or I mean, even like in Reno, we don't even really have a real shop anymore. You know, there's still a couple left up in Tahoe. In Colorado, there's like Satellite, obviously. There's some other spots, but like BC Surf and Sport. But a lot of those like middle of the mall, or a lot of those places, I should say, only have like a middle of the mall style skate snowboard shop, you know? They don't actually have like a small real, they don't have a Milo Sport, you know? So I think in places like that, Zoomies can be great, because I think that they're going to be a better bet than, like you said, like a Dick's or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's probably very similar to... I'd lean more towards it being closer to a Dick's than like a shop.
You do. I might have to disagree with you, which is good.
Yeah.
But
they don't tune boards.
They don't tune boards.
But it could have changed. Like back in my day, I guess it's been a few years since I've been in one, but I remember my brother and I would have this thing where we'd ask, like, do you snowboard? Do you skate? And you always got the, oh, dude, I used to skate. Oh, like my little bro snowboards. But you didn't really get the, like, that. And I know from people that I knew that worked there, it's like you do have those. You're going to sell. This Circa's not even a brand anymore. But, like.
Yeah, it might be coming back.
All right, perfect example. Like, you're going to sell 20 Fallen shoes today, and you get a sign-in bonus to blah, blah, blah. And then you can, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's incentive-based over. I'm sure a lot of shops don't have that push, but.
I guess the reason why I said what I said is because I feel like at least the people that are working in there are a little bit more like skate/snowboard mind oriented. Like, you're not going to go work at Zoomies if you don't like skateboarding and snowboarding, right?
For sure.
Versus Dick's, you could be a freaking hockey guy who just happened to have to work the snowboard section that day.
That section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should probably like preface, like, I know some people that work at Zoomies that are great and like core snowboarders, skateboarders.
Yeah.
Right? But
so that's the only reason why I would say that I'd lean at. But I mean, at the same time, yeah, you could be totally right too. Like, maybe they're the same people that wear like Thrasher shirts that have never skateboarded either, that just think the culture of it is cool. And so they work in there, you know, because the environment of it, maybe.
But then maybe they're just stoked on the culture too, right? So it's like, all right.
Yeah, still better than the guy who works the fishing section.
16-year-old me was like, man, that shit's not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, snowboarding needs to stay small. And, you know, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, I'm like in my 30s. I'm a dad. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't have as much. Who gives a fuck what I think, really? As far as, like, dude, it's not that cool to, like, work at a shop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess moral of the story at the end of the day is if you have a snowboard shop in your area, take advantage of it, you know, use that. And on top of that, also don't abuse them, you know, don't just use them to go try stuff on. Don't just go and look at the stuff only to find it on Amazon for $5 cheaper. When you're supporting a snowboard shop, you're supporting so many other things besides
it's
just
not just getting $5 off on a sweatshirt or something, right?
Like, I would rather spend the extra $5 to support that shop than and know that $5 is going towards like a lot of other things. Like, who knows? Maybe that snowboard shop could be hosting a rail jam in their front, you know, parking lot that week.
Or they're doing stuff, which is cool.
And they're trying to just constantly bring people into snowboarding, you know, and that's obviously the number one thing I think everyone wants, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think like community-based things that are happening, like I know like at Donut Shop, they do like wax nights, right? And people go and hang out and look at art and get their board waxed.
That's kind of a fun idea.
Super cool.
Yeah.
More shops should think about doing stuff like that.
Yeah, like almost like a community night where it's come on in, maybe like 10% off anything in the store, and get your board waxed for free, hang out with all the homies.
Well, people show up. I mean, there's always like CalSurf things, or, you know, Zombie's a sick shop too around here. Damage, not to shout everyone out, but I mean, I think it's just people show up to those like little skate premieres, video premieres, like art shows, like stuff like that. And I think that brings people to meeting other people. So you might meet someone you film with, someone you shoot photos with, your new best bud that you're going to snowboard with at something like that, you know? You're not going to get that from, you know,
another place that just sells snowboards. Yeah, certainly. I think you bring up a really good point too, because so many, obviously, if you have any intention of pursuing snowboarding more than just going out and snowboarding for the day, right? If you want to have photos taken, if you want to be shooting videos, if you want to be doing stuff like that, like besides the mountain and seeing somebody that's doing those things, you're not going to find any other place where you're going to get that. So it's like the other like-minded place besides the actual place that you're doing it is the snowboard shop, right? So, or if you go into a shop, like another thing you can do is call and ask, like, hey, do you guys know any filmers? Do you guys know any photographers that would want to link up? Do you know anybody that's looking, you know, because they might have a shop kid that came in, or a kid that came into the shop 2 days before that looking for snowboarders to shoot. So,
dude,
you never know.
I met Stefan Gende that way.
Yeah.
Look at him now. He's like, not like I had anything to do with him, you know, but it was like I met him at the shop. And I was like, oh, you shoot? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, besides on the mountain, where else would you have?
Yeah. And even then, it's like you're not going to like pop up to people. It's like, I don't know. Nowadays, we live in a social media world where it's easy to be like, oh, what's up, dude? You're sick. Want to hang out? Want to shoot? You
Find
know?
them on Instagram.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, long story short, support your snowboard shops, guys. Yeah, they're, especially if you want to be supporting snowboarding, you know, I mean, that's obviously like the biggest thing for me, and is support snowboarding, support snowboarders. And one of the best ways to do that is through your local shop.
So,
full
circle, man. Just be a part of it.
It really does. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Again, like always, let us know what you guys think in the comments, what you have to give. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff we left out about other things that shops are great for.
Maybe pop in the comments and tell us your favorite shop.
Yeah, that's a great idea too.
I'd like to know.
Give them a tag. I don't know if anyone runs a shop anywhere. Dude, send Jordan and I like t-shirts or hoodies. We'll freaking slap those bad boys on. I like supporting, like, you know, shops. Give them a little like advertisement if anyone is watching the show. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Man.
Jordan, thanks so much for joining me, buddy.
Thank you, dude.
And
thanks for the drink.
Hey, cheers. Until next week, we will see you guys then. And thanks so much. Make sure you subscribe, follow along, follow us on Insta, all that other good stuff. And we'll see you guys soon. Later.
Adios.
Peace.
Hasta la vista.